So our topic is Broadway. Broadway theater, also known simply as Broadway, refers to the theatrical performances presented in the 41 professional theaters, each with 500 or more seats, located in the Theater District and Lincoln Center along Broadway in Midtown Manhattan, New York. It was created in 1811.
The 1920s are considered to be when Broadway popularity was on the rise. In 1927, more than 250 shows debuted, with over 50 being musicals, and millions of people attended these shows. The Broadway shown in this video is the 1929 musical Gold Diggers of Broadway.
Gold Diggers of Broadway is an American pre-code musical comedy film directed by Roy Del Ruth and starring Winnie Leitner and Nick Lucas. Distributed by Warner Brothers, the film is the second two-color Technicolor all-talking feature-length film. Broadway was heavily influenced by the Harlem Renaissance and the Jazz Age. The Harlem Renaissance was an intellectual, social, and artistic explosion centered in Harlem, Manhattan, New York City, spanning the 1920s.
This is a video of Louis Armstrong. He contributed to the Harlem Renaissance, and he had a major impact on jazz music. He brought a soloist art into the ensemble nature of jazz and was one of the most important artists when we speak about the Harlem Renaissance. He's also famous for his unique voice. A lot of the Broadway shows in the 1920s glorified the American girl. These plays could be Cinderella stories where a low-class girl met the man of her dreams and fell in love with him.
The Cinderella girls on Broadway began to wear flapper dresses. Flappers were a generation of young Western women in the 1920s. Flappers did what society did not expect from young women. They danced to jazz-age music, they smoked, they wore makeup, they spoke their own language, and they lived for the moment. Flapper fashion followed the lifestyle. Skirts became shorter to make dancing easier.
There was a golden age of the American musical, which began in September of 1925, when 4 hits opened within a span of 7 days.
Me with all those girls.
These 4 included Richard Rodgers and Lorenz Hart's Dearest Enemy, which was 286 performances, Jerome Kern's Sunny, which was 517 performances, Rudolph Frimmel's romantic operetta The Vagabond King, which was 511 performances, and lastly Vincent Youmans and Ivring Caesar's No No Nanette, which had 321 performances and became one of the most lasting musical comedy hits of the decade. This musical is featured in the clip here.
This clip is just a revival of a musical performed at the 1972 Tonys.
Every step I know. Just raise 8 each till they tingle, mingle till they think I'm single. You can dance with any girl at all.
Some famous actors during this time on Broadway were George M. Cohan, who starred in Yankee Doodle Dandy, Franny Bryce, who performed in When a Man Loves a Woman, and Al Johnson, who performed in The Jazz Singer. Him.
There were many reasons for the ending of the Broadway boom. It officially ended in the 1930s for several reasons. Al Johnson's The Jazz Singer became the first talkie in 1927, and this created an issue because these radio shows could be listened to at no cost, so they didn't really need Broadway as much anymore. And another major reason that the Broadway boom ended was the Black Friday stock market crash in 1929. And after the Great Depression, Although the Broadway saw more attendance, it wasn't nearly as high as it used to be in the 1920s.
Leads the neighbors a chase. But his
This is a
smile
clip of Al
is as
Johnson
deep
in The Jazz
as
Singer.
can be. Making noise, breaking toys, always fighting the boys. But his eyes, that are
1920s Broadway had a great impact on shows today, such as The Lion King, Mamma Mia, and Wicked.
I know about popular, and with an assist from me to be who you'll be instead of dreary who you were. Well, are. There's nothing that can stop you from becoming popular.